What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Sydney, aka A Shawty That Reads. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future literary content. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Book of Secrets, Unlocking the Hidden Dimensions of Your Life by Deepak Chopra. I'm also going to be doing a little overview of what we discussed in book club because this is what we were reading for Shawty's book club. If you are not following me on Instagram, please go do so at Shawtyreads because that is where I facilitate the book club, you guys. So go join. All in all, I'm very happy with this book club pick. I definitely feel like this book is gonna have me thinking for like the rest of the year. Okay, for those of you who are familiar with Deepak, y'all know he don't really play. Like this isn't easy reading, it's intentional reading, and you have to be intentional about intentional reading, right? So general book club consensus was this isn't a book that you read before bed. And it's a book that you're going to have to read. Like, you may read a paragraph and then be like, oh, I may need to read that one more time, one more again, because it's just really deep. Personally, I read about a chapter to a chapter and a half every morning before I got my day started, and I feel like it really helped me get through my day. However, when I tried to read 2 chapters at once, I couldn't really do it, either because I felt like I wasn't paying attention anymore, or I just feel like it was too much. And I think you have to know when to kind of like cut yourself off from self-help sometimes, because you don't want to speed read through this. You want to actually get some good information out of it, right? So when you first open the Book of Secrets, I like how he lets you know right from the beginning on page 2. It says, when you are living the truth of one reality, every secret reveals itself without effort or struggle. So I feel like he's kind of setting you up here in the beginning to understand that once you get it, these secrets will come to you without struggle. But because we're human and we have these human tendencies, we make it more difficult than it has to be. So he even says, page 3, therefore, this book must work on 2 fronts. First, it must persuade you that there really is a mystery lying in the hidden dimensions of life. Second, it must inspire you to feel the passion and dedication required to get there. This isn't a project to postpone until you are ready. You have been ready since the day you forgot to keep asking who you are and why you are here. Sadly, most of us keep shutting out thousands of experiences that could make transformation a reality. If it weren't for the enormous effort we put into denial, repression, and doubt, each life would be a constant revelation. So I just like how it's already so powerful on page 2 and on page 3. Okay, so I feel like if you read that, if you think you're not ready, he's telling you you're ready. If you think you're not ready, I don't know, y'all. But it's definitely a journey reading this book, and transformation is a journey. And before I read this, I was definitely someone who thought that transformation was just like this thing where you're like, well, I'm not really like the person I was like 6 months ago, so yeah, I've grown. Or it's like, oh, I've grown from this situation. It's like, no, that's so naive. But that's okay, because books like this help you learn, right? So this helped me learn that transformation is deep, deep inner work where you are required to put passion and energy towards yourself and yourself only. And that takes a lot of accountability, and it takes a lot of honesty, and it takes a lot of self-reflection. So I really like this book because he does give you activities that will help you kind of get in your lane, in that zone of radical self-care, I guess you could say, because I feel like transformation and the work that you do on yourself is a form of radical self-care, because I think we put so much time in trying to understand other people and, you know, like give other people the benefit of the doubt and stuff like that. But how about, you know, this book tells it's time to do that for yourself, because we want to be like this butterfly right here, but you don't just get to be this cute little butterfly. You got to go through some ugly stuff. So My favorite chapter to get the ball rolling, what really made me feel something is when he said that the cause of suffering is unreality. Okay. And of course I can't find it now. I want to say it's secret number 4 or 5, but he says the cause of suffering is unreality. It is secret number 5. So it says that suffering is pain that we hold on to. Okay. And that could be so many things. It could be failed relationships, whether they're platonic or romantic. You know, I think everyone's gone through a breakup. I think everyone's had a falling out with a friend. Pain could be losing your job. So many different things. So I like how he just states point blank period. The beginning of suffering is often a refusal to look at how the situation really is. And I think it's important that he says that because I think sometimes we go through things and we do a lot of, well, if this would have happened, or if this person would have just done this. And now we have all these scenarios in our head based on if this person would have, or if this would have happened, but that didn't happen. So now we're sitting here having conversations based around things that aren't real, based around things that are made up in our head, like an ideal situation that we wish would have happened. So now we're not actually focusing on the quote unquote issue at hand, right? And I like, this was a really interesting fact to me. It says, when the worst misfortune occurs, when someone gets fired, has a spouse walk out, hears the diagnosis of cancer, about 15% seek some kind of help from a counselor, therapist, or pastor. The rest watch TV. I've done it. Okay, I'm not judging. They refuse to even consider looking at the problem or opening it up to discussion with someone who might help. Okay, so, and he even says, the first step to getting out of this, okay, is a willingness to look at what is actually happening. And I know how much that sucks. And I know how painful that is. But what Deepak done made me realize on page, okay, when I read this, I was like, wow. Okay, on page 76, he says, there are many twists and turns to suffering. The trail leads from fear of death to a false sense of self and the need to cling. Okay, usually clinging on to the past, what we thought was good. In the end, however, unreality alone is the cause of all suffering. The problem was never pain, quite the opposite. Pain exists so that illusion won't keep getting away with its tricks. If unreality didn't hurt, it would seem real forever. This was crazy to me because I made it halfway through this book, right? And then I went to journal. And I wrote down, I don't know what made me think growth was going to be comfortable. Then I go back to this page because, you know, I'll be underlining, I'll be doing my little notes. And so I noticed this after I wrote that down. So after I wrote that down, I come back and I read this and it's like, wait, if it didn't hurt, then why would we ever like move from the situation that we're in, right? Like if pain didn't bring up these feelings, these emotions, then we'd probably just be stuck in situations that we were not meant to be in to begin with forever, right? So you have these emotions that come up and you're like, this sucks. And then it finally forces you to be like, okay, what do I need to do to make this not suck so much anymore? So I think that was really important. And then the last thing he says is that the only goal worth attaining is complete freedom to be yourself without illusions and false beliefs. So I think the illusion that we create for ourselves are all the little like excuses we have for like why we're in a situation. So instead of asking yourself like, why did this person do this to me? Or like, why is the universe against me? Or whatever it is that we like to say, ask yourself, okay, the situation came up for a reason. What do I need to look at within myself? Not these outside factors. What do I need to look at within myself to change my reality? Because I think, what was I going to say, y'all? I was really getting there. The outside forces. Oh, yes. I think the second secret he says is that the world is in you. So once you focus on yourself and everything that's going on inside, then all these outside factors that we like to blame for, they're no longer going to be an issue, because you realize that the world around you is a reflection of yourself and the relationship that you have with yourself. So once you work on that, you won't have anyone to blame anymore, and it'll be easy for you to take some accountability. But I know no one likes taking accountability, right? Like, nobody likes to do that. I think we have all learned the hard way. Okay, so I think that alone will really just like sets up the book and kind of sets you up for success. Like, he hits you with a real quick, like, hold on, this is the cause of your suffering, okay? Not the nigga who left you, not the nigga who fired you, I don't even know, okay? Not the nigga who broke into your car and stole all your stuff. That's happened to me before. That person wasn't my problem. So this book forces you to ask yourself questions that you may not want to ask. I think another really important aspect of this book is that in order to face reality and to come to terms with the one reality that we all have to face, we must surrender. And in chapter 9, he goes through different levels of awareness that you have, and he urges you to go through these different levels of awareness and to kind of give yourself points to see where you think you are at. And I thought that chapter was really important because, again, with me, my naivete, me being naive, I thought you surrendered and that was it. And you just like, okay, I surrendered. Okay. But it's like, no, you have to surrender to different parts of yourself, and then you have to like constantly work on those parts and constantly be aware of those parts. And you also have to be patient with yourself and give it time. Okay. You're not going to read this book and then have it all together. And you're not going to read a chapter and have it all together. And I like how he explains, go through these different levels of awareness and just work on one for the day. Okay. Or it could even be for the week. It doesn't even have to be for the day. So let's say you're not really in tune with nature. So maybe you go out today, you go for a walk, and you really try your best to be present and to be at one with nature and really appreciate it for what it is. And that's all you had to do for the day. And you get a clap on the back because you worked on yourself today. And it wasn't that difficult, right? So I like the focus that he tries to instill in the reader, the focus, the patience, the non-judgment. I really want to say that at the end of the day, all of this is about feeling what you feel and not judging yourself for it. Because, and he even says it too, like, there are going to be some days where you're like, yo, I cannot get it together. And you just feel like, you know, just everything's being thrown your way and you just can't get through it. But like, it's okay. Everyone has days like that. Be patient with yourself and understand that there's deeper meaning to it. And I like that too, that he says, you know, there's always a deeper meaning to things in life. I think it's secret number 7. He said, every life is a spiritual life, whether you want to believe that or not. So whether you want to believe there is a deeper meaning or hidden meaning in things, life is spiritual. And he gives scientific facts to prove that. And I like that he does it more so in a way of being like, look, I'm not here to create a divide, science versus spirituality versus religion. It's like, it's all encompassing. It all makes sense. You know, like we are made up of cells that are so miraculous. Like, how can we not be miraculous ourselves? And how can we not have the power to create our own reality? So that, I know it was a lot. It's a lot. And that was another book club consensus. Like, this is very deep, and it's going to cause you to, you know, delve deeper or dive deeper into yourself. A lot of self-reflection. And it's definitely a book where you may just have to stop in the middle of the chapter and be like, dang, like, how am I How am I going to use this to like, or take this to go about my day now? And I love it. And I love that when it's over, you kind of still feel like it isn't over. This is definitely a book that I'm going to keep by my side for a long time, just because of the wisdom I feel that it instilled in me. It is a little bit longer. So like I said, I would take it day by day, chapter by chapter. I want to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Taking the 0.5 off just because it can get a little dense. But I mean, it's intentional reading, like I said before. It's not meant to be like super fun. This is meant to spark conversation with you and your homies. You know, you meet up with your friends and you're like, girl, let's talk about shadow work. Let's talk about this trauma. Let's talk about this pain that we feel. Let's get through it. Because when you want to hold off on your pain, now you got to do extra work, because finally when you get to a point where you can't take it anymore and the universe is throwing all the stuff at you and you're like, okay, fine, I can't take it anymore. Now you have to do the extra work of facing the pain, which you should have done maybe like 6 months ago. And then also going through the work of like healing yourself and getting out of that pain, where it's like, if we would just face reality as it happens and realize that, you may be suffering now, but that's not your life. That's not who you are. Your suffering is not who you are. Okay, once you realize that, I think the path to healing gets a lot easier. And also understanding that you are a work in progress. No one is expecting you to be perfect. So just because you may have one level of awareness down, doesn't mean you're going to have it down forever, and you may slip and slide and fumble and fall a little bit, but it's okay, because you're still doing this. It may feel like this, but you're doing this, because time definitely isn't linear. It's going to take you all over the place, and then at the end you're going to be like, oh, I see why you did that. We just had to go all over the place. Places where we thought we weren't ready to go. You know, places of discomfort. Anyway, y'all, I could talk about this forever. This book is absolutely phenomenal. I think this video, oh my God, we had 20 minutes already, y'all. I hope y'all had your sea moss tea ready before you started this one. Before I leave you though, I want to offer you guys some supplemental reading that I think would just go so well with this book. I'm going to leave a link in the description box down below. You can purchase this book from my website, purpleskiesbookstore.com. The other 2 books I'm going to mention, I'm going to be leaving affiliate links for, so you guys can purchase them. But I think The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, also by Deepak Chopra, is a great, great book that will go very well with this one. Just because he wrote this one first, and I feel like he has your 7 spiritual laws that you can focus on, and then I feel like this book, he just like expanded on the laws. So I think these 2 would be very, very good to read together. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. I talk about this book all the time. This book, I think, will help you understand shadow work a little bit more. I think it'll help you understand what the psyche looks like, and just take you a little bit further into myths and archetypes and finding the deeper meaning in things. And I think this book will also show you the importance of knowing when to stop. Maybe I shouldn't say stop, pause. Just because you're not ready to receive all the information sometimes. And that's why I like in the Book of Secrets how in the beginning he says, when you're there, life's mysteries will come to you without effort or struggle. So that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go looking for it all the time. It will just come to you when you are ready. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to check out the related blog post on purpleskiesbookstore.com and also on my blog, Shawtyreads.com. I will see y'all next time. Breathe easy.